All right, good evening, everybody. This is Francisco from Sports Goofs, as we have another game in our line of Major League Baseball simulation games. And tonight we have the Cincinnati Reds versus the Chicago Cubs. This will be the first time that the Chicago Cubs will be on this simulation series. I'm very surprised that I've waited this long to feature them. We will be playing from Wrigley Field, and we're playing on World Series Baseball for the Sega Saturn. So let's get that game prepared here. It's interesting lineups. We haven't featured the Reds in a while, and this is a different versus the Reds. Well, let's take a look at the starting lineup for the Chicago Cubs. Oh boy. This is some old names here. Let me get prepped. So Brian McRae at center field, followed by Ray Sanchez, Mark Grace, of course, first baseman, won the World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001. Sammy Sosa in right field, one of my favorite players when I grew up. In fact, the player that made me love baseball due to that 1998 home run chase. Continuing on here, Sean Dunston at shortstop, Todd Zeile at third base, Luis Gonzalez, who would also win a World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks in 2001 along with Mark Grace, Scott Service, and the pitcher Frank Castillo for the Cubbies. Let's continue on here. For the Cincinnati Reds, let me look up the 1995 Cincinnati Reds lineup here. Give me a second, folks. I'm trying to have this loaded up here. Not the 2,995 Cincinnati Reds. That's way too far in time. Phone is way too far out in time. So 1995 Cincinnati Reds. So here we go. We've got Darren Lewis at center field, Hall of Famer Barry Larkin at shortstop, Hal Morris at first base, Reggie Sanders, who would also win the 2001 World Series with the Arizona Diamondbacks, Ron Gantz in left field, Brett Boone at second base, Benito Santiago at catcher, batting seventh for the Reds, batting eighth is Willie Green, and finally the pitcher Jose Rijo for the Redlegs. As we get the game prepped here, it's time to play some baseball here. So World Series Baseball 1 for the Sega Saturn, an old game, a very old game really, released I believe in 1995, and welcome everybody here to the North Side in Chicago. So, a not to scale version of Wrigley Field, but that's fine. We'll continue here, and the player that I wanted to focus on, I had it prepared already for the Chicago Cubs. We're going to start with a Cubby. That's Scott Service, as Hall of Famer Barry Larkin is up to bat right now. Takes a ball. So Scott Service played catcher, batted righty through righty. That's a base hit down the left field line for Larkin, and he gets that into a double. Morris is up now, trying to bring him in and give the Reds an early lead here in Chicago. So Scott Service was 6'2", 195 pounds when he played. Born June 4th, 1967. From La Crosse, Wisconsin, drafted by the New York Mets in the second round of the 1985 MLB June draft out of high school, Westby High School in Westby, Wisconsin, and then drafted by the Houston Astros in the third round of the 1988 June draft from Creighton University, the Blue Jays out in Omaha, Nebraska. That's a fly out, and the side is retired. The Reds failed to get a run, but get a first hit. McRae, Sanchez, and Grace due up for Chicago. So Scott Service made his Major League debut July 12th, 1991 at the age of 24 versus the Chicago Cubs. He had an at-bat and no hits. His last game ever came September 21st, 2001 at the age of 34 versus the Chicago Cubs. He had one at-bat and no hits, so 10 years later he had the same debut, the same performance against the Cubs. That's interesting. Well, played for the U.S. Olympic team, Olympic national team. He played in college as well as the 18 under team. Scott Daniel Service, career wins above replacement. Sammy Sosa is up now. This will be interesting. The Cubs have a man on second with 2 outs. And Sammy Sosa flies out to center field. And that's it. 1 hit for both teams. No runs after the first. Gant, Boone, and Santiago coming up for Cincy. So career wins above replacement for Scott Service at 3.1. 2,493 career at-bats, 611 hits, 63 home runs, and a career 245 batting average. His transaction history, so yes, 1985 drafted by the Mets, 1988 drafted by the Houston Astros, and he came up with the Houston Astros and wore number 9. Then, June 28th, 1995, he was traded by the Houston Astros along with Luis Gonzalez to the Chicago Cubs for Rick Wilkins. And he wore number 9 with the Cubs. Then, January of 1999, he signed as a free agent with the San Francisco Giants and wore number 29. Following that, in December of 1999, he signed as a free agent with the Colorado Rockies. With the Rockies, he wore number 29, and then he was selected off waivers in August of 2000 by the Giants from the Rockies, and he went back to number 9. Then, in January of 2002, he signed as a free agent. Well, actually, hold on. March 23rd, January 2001. Sorry, wow, I'm completely lost here. He signed as a free agent with the Detroit Tigers, but he was released by the Tigers in spring training in March. And a few days later, he signed as a free agent with the Houston Astros. So he went back to Houston, played with them, wore number 21 while with the Astros. And in January of 2002, he signed with the Giants, but was released by the Giants in April 2002. He didn't play a single Major League Baseball game in 2002. In April of 2002, April 16th, he signed as a free agent with the Colorado Rockies. He never played a game with the Rockies then either. And that was it for his career. So Scott Service made $5,872,500 over the course of his Major League career. He got paid the most by the Chicago Cubs, $1,645,000 in 1998 at the age of 31. So that's the end of 2 innings there. The Reds and the Cubs still tied, 0-0 here from Wrigley. That's a fly ball beyond second base, and second baseman has it for the out. 1 down, Hall of Famer Barry Larkin up now. So, Scott Service only played in 1 postseason, 1998 with the Chicago Cubs. They lost the National League Division Series, and that's a base hit. Goes out to the left field wall, and that's a double for Barry Larkin. So he's having a good game so far today. Kyle Morris, another chance to try and bring him in. 1 out here in the 3rd inning. Checks up on Larkin. He gets back safely to second. That's a strike there. Let's move on here. And that's a fly ball all the way to right field off of the center field wall. Larkin only moves up the base. Don't know why he held up. Well, Reggie Sanders with a chance to drive in too. There's still one out. And that's a grounder to short. And it goes above his head. It goes past everybody here. 1-run scores, 2-run score. Sanders with a triple. I don't know how that got past the shortstop, and even more amazed that it got past the center fielder. And that ball rolled all the way out to center field, allowing Sanders to get to third. Ron Gant is up now with a chance to give the Reds a third run here. Well, getting back to this, ooh, that's a ball draw. Oh, that's a home run. Oh, Ron Gant with a 441-foot shot. That's a 2-run home run. It's 4-0 Cincinnati here. Look at this. Ooh, yeah, that ball just did not look like it was going to come down. And yeah, well, Brett Boone is up now. Well, suddenly we have a game that has been blown wide open. 4-0 Cincy. Back to Scott Service. He played one game in the division series, had 3 at-bats, and got 2 hits against the Atlanta Braves. The Cubs lost that series, so he came to play in the one game that he did play. And that's another hit past the third baseman here. And it looks like the Cubs have seen enough of their pitcher Castillo. So now they've replaced him with Kevin Foster, and he gives up a base hit. So bases are loaded. The bleeding is not stopping here for the Cubs. So we'll see what happens here. That's a ball. As the pitcher is up, so there's a chance they can get a run here unless they want to do a squeeze play. So there's an infield fly, and that's 2 outs here. My mistake. I meant out there. Well, they did get the out. So Lewis is up for the Reds. Bases are still loaded. It's 4-0. We'll see what goes down here with Foster trying to stop the Reds from. Ooh, that's a fly ball all the way to center field, off the top of the center field wall. 1-run scores and 2-run scores. 6-0 Cincinnati. Barry Larkin is up, and he grounds to short and is thrown out. But the Cincinnati Reds, 6 runs now on 11 hits here, going to the bottom of the third inning. Scott Service, the man we've been talking about so far tonight, is up trying to make something happen for the Cubs. It's gonna be a concerted effort to try and come back, and he's doing his part there. Liner down the left field line, and he's only held to a single. He's a catcher. He should rest. Kevin Foster's up. We'll see what he can do here. Yikes. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe he can at least move Service up to second, give the Cubs a chance to get 1 run back at the very least. And nope, he just strikes out. I don't know if he can just play. Anyways, Brian McCray is up. He takes the ball there. Oh. I was wildly distracted there. Wow, let's take a look at what Scott Service's year was. What was the year for Scott Service? He has no notable awards, never made an all-star team. I guess his career year? I guess that's a base hit. Wow. Okay. There are 2 outs here. The Chicago Cubs. Man on second and third. Mark Grace is up. And he swings at the first pitch and misses. But Cubs with a chance here. If Grace can get a base hit, there's a chance 2 runs could come in. And that's a grounder to the third baseman. He promptly goes at Grace. That's it for the Cubs' attempt at a rally. 6-0 after 3. Cincinnati leading the Cubs. So yeah, Scott Service, his career year, I would have to put it at, I guess 1996. He played 129 games. 129 games. 118 hits, that's a career high. 42 runs scored, that's a career high. 20 doubles. No triples, 11 home runs. He hit more in 95. He hit 13, but that's not far off. 63 RBI, career high. 30 walks. 75 strikeouts. 265 batting average. 327 on base percentage. 384 slugging. And 711 OPS. 86 OPS plus and 171 total bases. So that, yeah, 96 would be Scott Service's career year, I would say, at the age of 29 with the Cubs. And that's a fly ball. And, oh, and a center fielder drops it. That's an error. Let's see. Looked like he got there in time, but just dropped the ball. And that's an out. An attempted steal there, but our buddy Scott Service throws him out. So Gant with another deep fly to left field and just falls short of the ivy and left. Still 6-0 Cincinnati. Sammy Sosa coming up. We'll see if he can have a nice traditional home run hop from Sammy Sosa. That'd be nice to see. As he flies to left field, and he is out, so we're not going to see that right now, unfortunately, for you at least. We saw Ken Griffey Jr. hit a home run the other day. So and this, never mind. Sean Dunston takes care of that. He gives the Cubs their first run. 6-1 here. This one got out very quickly. That was very quickly. I don't know what exit velocity that would have been. Some StatCast person could probably figure that out. But it got out in a hurry. 6-1 now. Todd Zeal is up. Well then, let's continue on with Scott Service. What's he doing now? Well, he is currently the manager of the Seattle Mariners. As Zeal flies out to center field. That's 2 outs now. Luis Gonzalez is up. He is currently the manager of the Seattle Mariners. He's been the manager since 2016. As far as representing USA Baseball, he won gold at the 1988 Seoul Olympics. At the Pan Am Games in 1987, he won silver. At the Baseball World Cup in 1988 in Rome, he won the silver and the Intercontinental Cup. In 1987 with Havana, he also won the silver. But he has an Olympic gold medal. And Luis Gonzalez, a 426-foot home run to the batter's eye. So that's 2 home runs here in the inning for the Cubs. Luis Gonzalez, no stranger to home runs, especially in 2001 when he hit 57 of those bad boys for the Diamondbacks. Scott Service is up. Dude, we're talking about you. Let's see if he can do something here. And he fouls it off to the third base side. And Service pop up, shortstop gets that and decided to retire, but not before the Cubs get a third of the way there and taking out that deficit. 6-2 now, Cincinnati. So Scott Service, yes, a catcher for 11 seasons. Was previously the assistant general manager for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim and director of player development for the Texas Rangers. So his post-playing career, he served in the Rangers front office before being hired by the Angels in 2011 to be the assistant general manager. And then Dipoto. When Jerry Dipoto, the Angels general manager, resigned in 2015, the Angels hired Billy Epler. Dipoto was hired as general manager of the Mariners in 2015, and Lloyd McClendon was fired by him. And 2 weeks later, Scott Service came in and became the manager of Seattle. He was ejected for the first time in his career in June of 2016 when he asked home plate umpire Carlos Torres why he didn't ask the first or third base umpire to see if Sean O'Malley went around on his swing or not. So it was a check swing there. And that's a base hit down the left field line. It's only a single there. So Brian McRae is up now. Let's see if the Cubs can continue to chip away at this deficit this big giant hole they're in. Trying to climb out of it. That's a grounder to second.
Get out of there!
And that's a 4-6-3. Oh, he's safe. Never mind, just 4-6. And an attempted steal there. Nope, the Cubs got aggressive and it failed. So now there are 2 down. And that's a grounder and it shoots off past the third baseman, past the left fielder. That's a double. So if the Cubs had just been a little more conservative, maybe that guy would have still been on. Maybe second and third with only 1 out. But Mark Grace is up. Let's see what he does. And they are at the... Wow, stolen third base. I haven't seen that so far in this series. And Mark Grace, oh, it doesn't even matter whether he stole that third base or not because Mark Grace hit a 419-foot home run. It is 6-4 now. Whoa. Okay, folks. Ooh. Things are getting interesting here on the north side. Sammy Sosa is up. It's 6-4 Cincinnati. It is 1-6-0. And we got Sammy Sosa up, so this will be freaking fun to see. Ooh, that's a strike, man. I didn't think that was a strike. I thought that was a little too inside, but we'll see what happens here. As, Sammy Sosa flies out to pitcher there. But the Cubs get 2 more. They're 2/3 of the way from erasing that 6-0 deficit. 6-4 now. Heading into the 6th inning, the pitcher, Rijo, is up. And let's continue on with Scott's service. So the Mariners had a 86-76 winning record his first season. And these are just his ejections here, but he's 321 and 327 as a manager, 495 win percentage. The Mariners are more or less rebuilding, so it's not that bad. They're kind of all mediocre at best, but not that awful. But yeah. And Hall of Famer Barry Larkin with the home run. I looked away for a second. Suddenly, that was a home run to left field. So Barry Larkin here getting a run back for the Reds. 7-4. Now more. Barry Larkin's having a great game today. He's got 2 doubles and a home run. And I believe 4 at-bats. So he's certainly the player of the game so far. That's back-to-back home runs. Al Morris, 430-foot shot to the batter's eye, 8-4 now. And the Reds have gotten 2 runs back. Deficit is now 4 for the Cubs. Yikes. Now Reggie Sanders is up. These are with 2 outs, by the way. 2 outs. So the Cubs were very close to completing their comeback. And suddenly the Reds have made it that much harder as Sanders with the base hit off the right field wall, and that's a double for him. So Ron Gant is up now. Swings and misses there. And Sanders tries to steal third, but nothing doing. Side is retired. However, the Reds get 2 more back. 8-4 now. Sean Dunston is coming up for the Cubs. Let's see if they can continue to stage a comeback. It just got a lot harder. All right, well. So Scott Service is the nephew of Crichton head baseball coach Ed Service. That's interesting. I guess that's all I've got for Scott Service. Ooh, I know which Cincinnati Red I want to talk about. Ron Gant. Yeah, that's a name. That's a name right there. I like that name. So Ron Gant. Ronald Edwin Gant played left field, second base, and third base. Batted righty, threw righty. 6 feet tall. 6 feet tall. Gosh, man, I found a weird way to say that. 172 pounds. when he played. He was born March 2nd, 1965 in Victoria, Texas. He is now 55 years old. He was drafted by the Atlanta Braves in the 4th round of the 1983 draft from Victoria High School in Texas. Made his major league debut September 6, 1987 at the age of 22 versus the Montreal Expos. He had 1 at-bat, no hits. His last game ever came May 25th, 2003 at the age of 38 versus the Kansas City Royals. He had 3 at-bats and no hits. 2-time All-Star, and he won a Silver Slugger. He had a career WAR of 34.1, very respectable. 6,449 at-bats, 1,651 hits, 321 home runs, and a 256 career batting average for Ron Gant. Let's take a look how much money this man made. He made $44,694,002 over the course of his major league career. From the age of 23 to the age of 38. Got paid the most by the Philadelphia Phillies in 1999, $6 million. That season. That's another foul here. We've got a battle here at the plate. And never mind. Nito Santiago for the Reds. So let's get back here. So transaction history, of course, June 1983, drafted by the Atlanta Braves. Came up with the Braves and wore number 5. Then, June 21st, 1994, he signed as a free agent with the Cincinnati Reds and wore number 6. So we've got the 7th inning stretch now. Scott Service is coming up. And, whoa, no 7-inning stretch here. No. Well, let's continue on with Ron Gant. So, yeah, war number 6 with the Reds. In December of 1995, he signed as a free agent with the St. Louis Cardinals and wore number 5 with the Redbirds. Then, in November 1998, he was traded by the St. Louis Cardinals, with Jeff Brantley and Cliff. I have to figure out if I'm saying this right. Cliff Polite, there we go, to the Philadelphia Phillies for Ricky Bottalico and Garrett Stevenson. So war number 5, this time going back to the Philadelphia Phillies. Then, July 2000, he was traded by the Phillies to the Anaheim Angels for Kent Bottenfield. While with the Angels, he also wore number 5. Then, December 2000, Ron Gant signed as a free agent with the Colorado Rockies and wore number 3. Then, July of 2001, he was traded by the Colorado Rockies to the Oakland A's for Robin Jennings. While with the A's, he went back to number 5. Then, he signed as a free agent in January 2002 with the San Diego Padres and wore number 9. Finally, February 2003, signed as a free agent with the Oakland A's. In June of 2003, he was released by the A's and went back to his number 5 at the time, and that was it for Ron Gant's career. As far as postseasons are concerned, Gant played in 6 postseasons. 1991, the Braves lost the World Series to the Minnesota Twins in 7 games. 1992, the Braves lost the World Series to the Toronto Blue Jays in 4 games. 1993, the Braves lost the NLCS to the Philadelphia Phillies in 6. 1995, the Cincinnati Reds lost the NLCS to the Atlanta Braves in 4. 1996, the St. Louis Cardinals lost to the Atlanta Braves in the NLCS in 7. And then 2001, the Oakland A's lost to the LDS and New York Yankees in 4. So Ron Gant, he got close. Got pretty close his first 2 years. Especially 91 with the Braves. NLCS trips. He made it deep into the postseason, but unfortunately could not win a ring while as a player. Let's take a look at his 91 World Series performance. He had 267, triple, 8 hits, scored 3 runs on 30 at bats. And then 2 World Series. He had 125. And 1 hit, and that was a double. And he had 8 at bats. So that was it for him. Those World Series performances. And let's take a look at the season, so the regular season for Ron Gant. It's 9-4 now, by the way. If you guys didn't notice, the Reds have seemingly put this game away. 5-run lead. Heading into the bottom of the 8th inning, the Cubs with Mark Grace and Sammy Sosa coming up in this inning. But they're going to have to do a lot to come back in this one. Getting back to this, so Gant, man, what was his year? That 1990 season for him? Look at this. Look at this stat line right here. 1990, 152 games played, 575 at-bats, 107 runs scored, 174 hits. That is a career high. 34 doubles. Actually, he hit 35 in 91, so by the way, he was rocking at the age of 25. 3 triples, 32 home runs. He hit more in 93, 36 with the Braves. 84 RBI. Well, he had 117 in 93. I mean, his 93 season was also really good. But he had 303 batting average in 1990. His 93 season, though, was 36 home runs, 117 RBI, 27 doubles, 166 hits. I mean, his 93 season, you can also make the argument that he was also at the top of his game. He had 5, and he made it 5th in MVP voting in 93, 14th in 1990. In 95, he only played, well, actually 95 shortened season, 119 games. He made the All-Star team and finished 11th in MVP voting. 276 batting average as well, 88 RBI, 29 home runs. 29 home runs in 119 games. Imagine if he had 162. He would have hit 40 plus. Hey, the Cubs get one back. 9-5 now as the Reds are taking out their pitcher. And they're going to be putting in Michael Jackson here. Not the one you're thinking of, but it is a Michael Jackson for the Reds. Anyway, let's continue on here. And here we go, heading into the 9th inning, and aforementioned Ron Gant is leading off. Yeah, his 95 season, wow. He also had a great season. Dear Lord, imagine a full, complete year. Because he didn't play due to injury in 94. He made up for it in 95. I can only imagine what he would have done in 162 or if he played every day, but let's say 150 games. Yikes. Wow. Well, in 92, he also made an All-Star team. In 88, when he came up, he came up in 87, really, but in 88, his full rookie year, finished 4th in Rookie of the Year voting. And in 91, he finished 6th in MVP voting and won a Silver Slugger. So Ron Gant has some hardware, has some accolades, and he was just as good as any other ball player or any other elite ball player at the time. Man, that 95 season. So many what ifs in 94, and you could even say 95. What you would have done a lot of players would have done is a full season, 462 games. So, Ron Gant now is currently a co-host on WAGA TV's morning news program, Good Day Atlanta. So he's made Atlanta his home. 2005, he worked as a color commentator for the Braves on TBS, also as an analyst on Sports South and on MLB Network. And then finally, October 2012, he became a news anchor for the AGA and host that morning show. So there we go. So Ron Gantz, that's his career. That's his post-playing career. He's having he's made a good work with it. Afterwards, he's on TV, man. The guy is very personable, very good in front of the camera. And man, he was a great baseball player. Great baseball player. Well, it's the bottom of the 9th inning, and that's a diving stop by the first baseman, but it's nothing doing. That's a hit there. Scott's service is coming up, and well, that's all the players I can cover for today. I'm surprised it got through Ron Gantz so quickly. I thought I would spend a lot more time on him, but the early 90s, dear Lord. Ron Gant, elite ball player. Let's see here, this game here. That's a fly ball off to the first base side. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. For the Cubs, man on first. They are down 4. It would be something if they can make something of this inning. Get 4 runs back, but that's a grounder to second. That's a 4. Oh, just a 4-6 there. They get the lead runner. There's 2 outs. Man on first. Last chance for the Cubs. McRae is up. Wish I could have talked about more players here, but I could only cover 2. That's a grounder to first, and that's it. Game is over. The Cincinnati Reds have defeated the Chicago Cubs 9-5 here in Wrigley. Let's head on over to the post-game stuff. Take a look at some stats. I said that weird. But here we go. The pitcher, Luis Rijo, sorry. Messed that up. Well, got the victory. Save, Michael Jackson, but not the one you're thinking of. The loss, Frank Castillo for the Cubbies. The Reds exploded for 6 runs in the 3rd inning. And that 6th run was the game-winning run. Believe it or not. The Cubs came back, making it 6-4 at the end of 5, but then the Reds got 2 more back with some home runs there. As I'm trying to get my controller to turn on again. On. Forget it. Anyways, then let's continue on here. The Reds got 1 more in the 8th inning, as well as the Cubs, and that was it for the efforts of the Cubbies. I wish I could see more of the stats here. My controller's not working. I don't know why. I have no idea why. Let me give one last chance to troubleshoot it before I call it a night. Oh, well, guess my controller has completely failed on me, but that's fine, everybody. This is Francisco from Sports Goofs. Y'all can tune in tomorrow. We'll have our 66th episode of Sports Goofs. We'll be talking about stuff, I guess some heavy stuff as well. That's kind of the theme going on nowadays here, but we'll try and make it entertaining at the very least for you all. As I'll be joined hopefully by my good friends Andrew and Charles. Well, that's it for me. The Cincinnati Reds win 9-5 over the Cubs from Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Stay safe, and see you next time. Adios.